This meeting is being recorded.
What's up, everybody? This is the poker coaching study session, and today we're going to be looking at this wonderful industry from Joe the Wizard. Joe the Wizard played a little game on this last Sunday at 2:15, and he had a fine display of skill, and he took first place for $60,000. Can you believe that? Well, let's go, Joe. Let's see how you get it done. All right. So first hand, what do you guys like here? Three bet or call?
This
Oh, wait a
defense-
second. So 82. I thought we were well past this stage of the tournament. Everyone's got 80 bigs here.
Oh, we are starting from the beginning, Ken.
I thought we already started it.
No, we did it last night a little bit. That's all.
Oh, no, but I still thought we did it Monday. That was Kelly's hand still?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What do you do here?
I call.
I'm raising.
Yeah, I'm calling as well. I prefer to call. I think it's more of a call if you look at how deep we are in the ranges. If we were deeper, I think if we were 100 big blinds deep, would be a better three bet. What do you guys do here?
It mixes our range, mostly calls.
and position, you can call one street for sure.
Yeah. What is the preferred action here?
He checked.
Yeah.
I'm checking back.
I'm always checking back as well. I think that's pretty
Yeah,
good.
we can go for thin value on the river if there's another check.
He checks. Is this a spot where we should value bet?
Yes.
I mean, he doesn't have. I mean, he's got 10-8 maybe. Like some people aren't even opening 10-8 suited, so I think we could bet for value thin. He's got queen 9 suited, jack 9 suited, sets, whatever. Maybe river's a set of nines, but could probably go for value.
Gallon.
Yeah, I'm checking this back pretty heavily personally. Feel like
We could.
it's
Yeah, like if you think about it, we're only gonna get called by like king jack, maybe, right? That we're beating king jack, maybe pocket tens. Like it's really a narrow target, I guess. Maybe we
so
should
when you
check
look at
back.
like the flop bet, right? So what type of hands are he betting? Is he betting the flop with? Is kind of the clue that I was looking at here when we went over this hand. So
I
it's
feel
like,
sorry.
go ahead.
I feel like any pocket pair would call us, right? Like if I had eights there, I'm calling. Like,
Do you think
guy's
eights are
got
betting the flop though?
didn't he bet the flop?
Lefty bet the flop. Do you think pocket eight would bet the flop?
Sure.
I think hands like that are probably a majority check. Considering like when you're at a position like this, I think the majority of the hands do end up checking.
Yeah, your range checking pretty hard.
So it's like the hands he's going to be betting here pretty heavily are Queen X, which we never improved past. He will be betting some draws. So, you know, King 10 was a possible hand that he's betting. So that's now improved to a straight. The other hands he would maybe be betting is like Ace 10. We're blocking, you know. I think a lot of his range at this SPR to maximize profit is also going to be playing a check raise strategy. So, you know, his King 10 check raising this. Maybe Queen 9. Queen 9's playing check raise. I think like when we looked at the sim to open up like the action here on the river, we just we didn't have enough EV. It's too marginal.
Pocket seven Whoever said pocket eight, you were pretty close, sir.
Yeah, they were betting. But so then it's like, is he calling a bet there on the river? Maybe.
Okay. What did we think about this one?
I mean, it doesn't really get to bet that large, so I don't know.
So like my knee jerk reaction was, this is probably like not a bad check raising candidate. I initially thought, but not versus large sizing. Like, I would be check calling this versus large sizing.
Yeah, you gotta call one, right? I mean, I don't think I would check raise either. It's just a big bet. You really shouldn't be doing that, so.
Now
I
versus
feel like
small
he's got
bet,
hands he wants us to fold right away, like ace X, ace king, ace queen, whatever, ace jack suited, and maybe pairs that he just wants the hand to be over with.
Yeah, like is his big bets gonna come from tens and jacks here?
Yeah,
Hands that are best but vulnerable?
I've been seeing crushers bet big with their range on these flops, on paired board flops.
it's not a thing, really. They shouldn't be doing that. Very often, it's a very small part of the tree.
Yeah, it's a range bet small kind of spot.
Yeah,
Anyhow,
see, the only behavior I would kind of mention about that is, I think we looked at this spot last night. The
Yeah.
behavior does shift when you're above 50 big blinds. Where it's like at 40, it's obviously a range bet small
Well, this is
spot, but
80.
I think at 80, it does start notching in some like larger bet size,
This
just,
is an 80 big blind semi pulled up.
yeah, we are eight.
right?
It's
Well,
still
a bit,
So, yeah.
a
small.
bit deeper, honestly, but that's what I have.
So it is just range betting smaller. That's right. I forgot you did have this one.
So Joe
But-
calls there, and
Yeah,
like we have a very marginal call basically with the backdoor.
Right. So like replace the bet sizing with small and see how it responds.
Against a small bet, which should be happening most of the time. We're raising a
Eh.
little bit more, but it's like mostly just a call.
Right.
You wanna raise your 5-0 and your
Stuff
9,
wrapping around the 5.
and in between the 9 and the 5s. Basically, stuff that is like between the 9 and the 5.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you guys like to do here?
I'd call later
Call.
position. I'm happy calling here.
Yeah, I think if we were deeper, again, 100 big blinds, would be more of a three bet. At this depth, it's more of a call. That's another like misconception. On monotone boards, you're using only small size most of the time. And then multi-way, you're even using less bigger sizes.
Yeah.
So,
Easy fold.
So like, there's a couple clues, a couple players at this table, like I would think might be like, I would start wanting to target if possible. They don't seem like they study.
yeah, what do you think about this spot here?
I'm happy to check call.
Do you think
So-
checking is best?
King high boards are one of the ones that we get to lead on most, right?
I don't know. I don't study these spots enough. This is what I'm
It's a
gonna start
rainbow
working. These are the
board.
exact spots I'm
Yeah.
starting to run sims for.
Good call, dude. Good call on the
So should we check or bet?
bet.
I
Be
think
the
we can lead
pre-flop
this.
raiser,
Yeah,
I would bet.
Yeah, I'm happy to check call. I don't know what's
happy
right
to
though.
check as well, for me, it's a weak hand here, so. Is it check raising or check calling?
We can't check raise. We don't want to polarize this hand, so.
Yeah.
Okay, just call.
I just call now.
Now we pick up the gotcha.
Call.
I would
I'd
just
probably
call
fold. I'd probably
again.
fold. I'd probably fold, to be honest.
Yeah, but you pick up the gotcha.
Uh,
Yeah, that'd be-
An ace probably isn't always gonna be good. I mean, a jack's nice. If we're not already beat, and you know, how fortunate are we gonna be to hit a 10, like 4 outs? I'm folding.
If a 10 comes, are you gonna get paid? Is the other thing too, right?
Yeah,
Or like the problem is if a 10 comes and we lead, what's he gonna call with?
Why would we lead?
If a 10 comes and we check, is he gonna bet? Right? Like he's gonna check a lot too.
So what, like, the question is for me, what are you betting for? Why are you betting if you wanna bet this?
Yeah, from the cutoffs perspective,
Worst hands can call.
Well, we were talking about betting the ace jack off, right? On the
oh,
flop?
I thought we were past that. That
Yeah,
was
on
the
the
flop,
flop.
yeah.
Yeah, so like, what are you trying to accomplish doing that?
I was checking.
Well, don't we have a range advantage because we raise more kings and better kings than he calls with?
I would, say it's pretty neutral. Like, I mean, we're gonna have pocket kings, ace, king. But he's flatting king, queen. He's flatting king, jack.
On
He's
the
flatting
flop,
pocket sevens.
yeah, on the flop, you could call us with queen, jack and jack 10 and jack 9 and jack 8. Why
No,
not?
but
So I mean, I would be careful with the whole range advantage. I mean, we're gonna have a couple combos, but it's pretty converged.
Yeah, his range is super narrow. Like he's calling like less than 12% of hands. So his range is very condensed. And it's condensed around like suited aces and broadways and pairs, pocket pairs. So. Yeah, I mean,
I
I'm
guess
checking.
my thought is like, the hands that he's calling, the block of the hands he's calling, it's almost impossible for them not to interact with a jack, a seven, and a king. So by betting, you may be folding out 5% of his continuing range, which gives you basically like squat for information. And I mean, value betting, second pair, super marginal. I'm just playing this as a 100% check for that reason.
And you can check call, like you got a pretty good hand. And they're gonna have bluffs when you check, so it's a pretty good hand to continue with when they bet.
Keeps your range wide too, so it's like, he should be betting some hands that are worse than yours.
So should we call the barrel here, the third bullet? I don't
I'm
think so.
folding.
I'm fold now.
Yeah.
Close, but yeah. it's
I
probably-
You
think
folded?
we call small bet on the turn.
It was
Can you
half
look it
pot.
up?
And then fold the river, right? The third bullet, are you ever good with third pair? Against three bullet from EP?
Usually not.
You can evaluate the river.
I
Did he
don't
call
know, but
turn?
I do believe I'm a pretty big calling station, okay? And I don't think I'm calling here.
Oh, he did call turn. That small bet, man, geez.
Oh, small on the river.
Yeah,
I mean, if I call turn now, I'm sucked in. Like, I'm like,
Yeah, not me.
you
I don't
guys
know.
think this guy bluffs 20-30% of the time? Because I don't think he is.
I don't know. I'm folding turn, so I ain't gotta worry about it.
Oh, you're folding turn,
Yeah,
but
yeah, I'm
calling
folding
river,
turn.
right?
I'm folding turn.
I mean, if I'm Chris Clinton and I have a 10 in my hand, I am also betting quite frequently here.
But you should bet larger, right?
On the flop though?
Listen, if you have a 10 here, you're not gonna bet this flop, okay? And if you're.
No, you're gonna bet a lot of your draws. When it checks to you, you're supposed to really go pretty crazy with your draws and your value.
I don't think so.
Yeah, if I
'cause
have Jack 10, I'm betting.
Well,
Yeah, for sure.
if you like to bet like your weak hands, suit yourself, but that's not very sound.
I mean, I just
Put
started
it,
looking at these
put it in the
spots and
solver.
you do get to bet a lot in position when it's checked to you, but you really get to bet a lot. And that's what I was missing. I'm not doing it. Like, this is one of my big leaks. I've just realized.
The hands that are gonna wanna be betting there are like your value and like your marginal draws to balance. So like, 10x, maybe some queen x on the flop. Which, you know, is gonna be shutting down on the turn, just because you picked up a pair at this point.
What 10x does he have though?
He
Like
should be
10,
flatting
9.
9-10, he should be flatting queen 10. He could be flatting king 10, jack 10, ace 10. I mean,
All
he's
your
got,
backdoor flush draws with straight redraws.
Do
He's
you
got
have
very high
80 big blinds?
I don't.
I've got 80. What are we looking for? What do you wanna see?
Like cut off.
Sorry, I've got
versus-
7.
Low
Cutoffs.
jack versus the cutoff.
Yeah, the
So we're gonna
cutoff
look at
flop
RFI,
strategy.
cutoff first, hijack or low jack?
I bet you cutoff's
Low
been
jack.
like 50% on the,
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, Vince. You said hijack?
It's low jack versus cutoff.
Okay, low jack versus cutoff. Right, so his calling range is highly condensed around suited 10x, suited jack x. So he's.
and I think the
gonna have
cutoff's gonna bet 55% on the, when it's checked to them.
and small pairs. So the majority of his calling range is actually a jack, a 10, or a pocket pair.
And I think that's the reason why we get the lead on the flop here.
Yeah, it seems like we should bet this flop very often.
We have the
Yeah.
this range advantage with all the best kings, and he has less kings because some of his kings are gonna 3-bet pre-flop.
So I think this is a spot that needs to be ran. I just don't think that's what the strategy is wanting to do. It's probably gonna be mixed at some frequency here across the
Well,
board.
I also know I check too much out of position. I know I check too much out of position, and I know I don't bet enough in position when it's checked to me. These are two things I really want to start working a lot on. And, cause I know it's really hurting my game.
So what do you do? Have you actually looked at the EV differences in some of these spots, Ken, of like,
No.
when you say you're missing a lot of checks?
Well, so for instance, I looked at, Matt's database review from July, and he happened to pull up his flop floats. And he says his was too low, and he was around 45%. And he was like 50% button cutoff. He said button cutoff should probably be about 55%, and the rest should be about 50. I'm 26%. I'm 22% on the button. Like, I am way, way, way too passive.
Me too.
Yeah.
And I started looking at a couple sims, and I've noticed, and I haven't looked at it much yet. I just started looking at like one spot, a bit, up to like 200 flops, just one spot. And I'm seeing just how much we get to bet in position when it's checked to us. And I am not like, I just got to start up in my game there. You just gotta bet your draws, man. Like, you gotta go for it.
Anyhow, I looked at king jack 9 now and king jack 5. I think it's gonna be a flop bet here.
Hey, do you have low jack versus cutoff? You're on under the gun versus cutoff.
And I do,
And-
and I
and-
had one from
and-
C betting too much to checking too much in position as well.
It's just one seat. You know?
It's 2 seats.
Yeah, but it's almost the same thing. We're missing like this part here.
Yeah, if anything, the out of position players range is gonna be even tighter and better. So. I mean, the out of position players range is gonna be tighter.
Yeah, so we could bet the flop here. I think we ran it yesterday as well. Did you save this one, Jan?
I didn't save a lot of the stuff we were looking at yesterday.
Okay.
Let me see, I did save one, but again, like, I'm not gonna be able to pull it up right
I
this
mean,
second.
betting flop feels really bad, but I see it in black and white or living color that it's a bet, which is like gonna be hard for me to adjust.
Yeah, just bet there.
Cause I feel like I'm gonna bet, get called, check turn, and then I'm face up and they bet, and I'm like, I guess I could still call, but like now I'm super capped. And I feel like I could be exploited.
No, we have 2 key cards on the flop, and the queen is not bad for us. The queen is still a good card for us on the turn. we're probably going to bet flop and bet turn. And he's
Oh.
going to be in all kinds of trouble because
We're
We're
getting into
uncapped.
dangerous territory. Without actually seeing this sim, we're just guessing.
Yeah,
And you're drawing assumptions and then we're building strategies based off assumptions. We need to see numbers. We need to see EVs to really understand, you know, these spots and make like intelligent decisions.
Alright, so when it comes to the turn, the queen is not that good for us. We go from a range bet to mostly
Hmm.
checking.
can you drag that over so you can see the whole window? Thanks. Yeah, I mean, if you think about their calling range, like their range is already hitting the Broadway cards really good. Now there's 3 Broadways on the board. I mean, it is good for us, but our range is way wider than his. So like. It's tough
Why are we
spots,
running?
man. Playing out of position is
hand that's not in
tough.
front of us? It didn't come king jack 9. That's a hand that beats, that is connected and stuff. It came king jack 5.
So the king would be good on the turn, the 7 would be good, the 6, the 5. Like low cards or an ace, no, or a king. Yeah, it's like bet flop and give up turn on anything but the low card turn.
One that doesn't improve equity of all the hands that call the flop.
And does Pio call that, check call, check call?
And while it's betting on the flop,
With the ace jack, do we check call flop, check call turn, or can we start folding on turn?
You
well,
ran
no,
king
it's never
jack 9,
check.
not king
Maybe
jack
we can
7.
see. Check. He
Oh,
won.
yeah,
running the wrong
king jack
hand.
9 is way different than king jack 7. It's way different.
Totally is.
Yeah, but I was looking at king jack 5 as well. Uh,
If somebody has a free solver, they should honestly just run the exact spot.
It's gonna take a half hour. I mean, if you wanna send me a
Fine.
hand, I'm not doing nothing. I could do it. If you wanna send it to me, but I still just curious right away what it does with the queen. Do we call? As this is set up.
yeah, there's not really a much checking on this board.
Oh, so we're not gonna, so it's really not gonna even get us to where we wanna be.
Maybe there's a hair here, but it's very thin.
4 hands, 5 hands, so.
Check, he bets small. We are pure calling with ace jack. Turn is the queen of hearts. So here, queen of clubs. Checking pure on the turn.
That's about 2/3. About half pot.
So here I have a bet small. The sim is only using the small size, but let's
Alright.
see, against the small size, we would call.
Yeah.
Against a bigger size, we are calling.
Wow.
Okay, and then on the river. The deuce of spade comes. We're still pure check calling and then. No, it's check folding a lot. So check, now he's supposed to bet big, but he bets small against a small bet here. We're mixing. So if you decide to check the flop, Joe played it fine. But the best way is really to bet this flop here.
Yeah.
So when you look at the EV of the strategy, what's the EV difference of checking versus betting?
I'll set the hand up. I'll run it at 80. So what position is it button cutoff? Low jack versus cutoff?
Just do strategy EV.
We actually have an equity advantage on this texture.
Yeah, I'm not as concerned about the equity. I mean, we are an opener versus a caller. So it's kind of like having an equity advantage as a cutoff player versus a button player or a big blind player.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's gonna be an equity advantage. I'm more concerned about like the EV of the decision tree than the equity of the hand.
So a lot of his range is pairs or suited connectors that are gonna struggle very, very hard, or his suited aces. His low suited aces. So it makes
This
sense.
isn't, this isn't showing me what I'm asking for. Click strategy plus EV. Now go to the individual combos and I wanna compare what the EV of checking versus betting is.
Okay,
So like. The EV is running very close between the decision trees of betting, checking. It's odd to me that it is wanting to range bet out of position.
What's the
Small.
flop? What's the exact flop? I'm setting it up at 80 just for the hell of it since we're here.
king, jack seven.
Jack of clubs, king of diamonds, seven of spades.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Always the highest card first. Yeah.
What's the SPR on the flop? And I'll give him a half pot bet since that's what we used. SPR is, we have 70. So.
11.5 to 1.
0.66 divided by 6.3. Oh, that's gonna be a big one.
Yeah, sure.
And he bet 30% flop, right? And then he used half pot on the turn. I'll just stick that in there.
So 100 and 1200.
Yeah, I put 100. I'm just gonna put 100,000. It's 110.19, so we could just make it.
No, it's 1,208.
How do you figure?
I just did the math.
The SPR with the short stack 69. So it's 69.66 divided by 6.83, right?
No, it's 81. Guy has 81 bigs.
Or, oh, I got the screen covered. I'm sorry. Effective stacks 81.
Yeah, 82 bigs.
I was looking at testify. So 1200 LP.
1,196.
1200, round it up.
No, 1,196.
Okay. It's no difference, honestly.
There is. I need my 4 chips. We're gonna run it, do it perfectly.
I might not even be able to run this. We'll see. It's gonna be huge.
Yeah, sure.
It looks like it's gonna go.
Alright, so we'll get back to it later.
In an hour.
I don't think so. I think it's gonna be 15 minutes.
Shit.
max.
I didn't put a dock on the river. I gotta put a dock bit on the river, I guess.
Oh my god.
No?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So what Matt Affleck said recently here is against limpers, you want to squeeze them with a slightly tighter range than what you would actually like open yourself. So I think that's okay.
And I lean towards suited stuff more than the offsuit. I overfold some offsuit stuff I'd like to
Honestly,
open.
I'm not sure. From the cutoff at 50 big blinds, what does it look like?
I'm just gonna put one check raise size in at 50.
It looks a lot like, okay, so jack 10 off. Okay, so slightly, that's exactly it. Slightly tighter than our actual opening range, so. Really nice squeeze. We get this kind of flop. I believe it's a check here. What do you guys think?
So Jack 10 is a squeeze there?
Yeah,
Nice.
I want to check here.
okay, what about this one?
Oh, man.
I'm done.
I want to fold.
Yeah, I think it's a fold as well.
Yeah.
Your
Your outs aren't clean, so
Yeah,
and the ace is probably busy.
Multi-way.
Pretty easy right now.
probably. Yeah, oh, so Joe here makes a call. I think that's a bit of a light call.
Optimistic.
Yeah. We asked for a multi-way solution for this one, so, yeah, I think it's very, very thin of a call. 6.5, you're not closing the action. Even like you could be already dead if you're playing against king, queen, so. But yeah, we find the W here on the river.
I wonder if he folds with a diamond in his hand. I imagine if he has jack ten with the diamond, he probably gives up. Yeah, I don't even know if that matters, but I mean, I would have folded. That's a spot where it's nice to have the player here because you might be able to say, look, this guy's just like, I don't, like, you know, whatever. He thinks he can get out of line or something.
Yeah,
What do you
been
guys think
ever
about
since.
this one? I see two options here, one good and a bad one.
I mean, I'm probably just calling.
I usually just call.
We're way ahead of his bluffs and we're just only behind aces and kings. I mean, we get value from ace, king, ace, queen, probably is gonna, and we block those.
Alright, well, here I am calling 0% of the time.
I don't know if is he gonna call off when we jam with ace, jack? Like, I'm trying, like, you know,
He's not gonna call off with ace jack.
no, so we're gonna get called by aces, kings, ace, king, and then like tens,
Eights,
nines,
jacks.
jacks. But I'm ahead of all those, so I can, you know, play post flop in position, so I'm pretty happy calling.
No, that's never a call here.
Are you sure about that?
100%.
Yeah, we looked at this one last night. This is, the way the SPR kind of works out. This is the spot you want to get your chips in pre-flop. Pretty
Yeah.
consistent.
Yeah, my assumption here was maybe we could have a 4-bet non all in size. To like 18 or 19.
It's
That
a
was
pure
not
call. It's a pure call at 60.
no.
Oh, yes, it is. And it's an all in at 40. So we're 50. It's probably mixing.
I got 50 charts here. We actually looked at this spot. So verse 3-bet, what is it? Cut off for small blind?
Yep,
What, cut off hijack?
Hijack versus small blind.
Hijack.
At 50, it's pure jamming
yeah, it was.
with
pure jamming.
queens, jacks.
What's it got at 60?
60, you are, it's a majority flat at 60.
Yeah, I got pure flats at 60 on poker coaching and then 40 was pure jab. So I thought 50 would naturally mix.
You see weird behavior like that at 25, between 20 and 30 too. Like it just does weird stuff with the range. It's kind of like an inflection point. I think it's just you kind of want to be out of the you want to be out of the 4-bet jamming, or you don't want to induce 4-bet jams, and I think you just want to get it in versus hands that have enough equity to run 40 or so, like eights. So let's see like what verse at 4-bet looks like.
And that's a really small 3-bet too. So like, I feel like he's opened himself up to, you know, he's going to probably be bluffing a lot.
Yeah,
well.
I mean, there's a lot of action killing cards. Like, it just gets hard to navigate an ace high board, a king high board, you know? So let's see, we're in the small blind versus a hijack, and what are we supposed to do versus a 4-bet?
I don't think it's
I mean,
hard to
how wide
navigate in position. Like,
How wide do you think we're supposed to be calling a 4-bet jam off at 50?
I think we're supposed to call with like nines. We're supposed to call with like ace 10 suited maybe? No, ace jack suited. And then I think ace queen has to call given it's like late position versus small blind, whereas usually ace queen folds.
It's close, like, so you're calling down to eights and you're calling ace king offsuit and you're calling, ace queen suited.
Ah, okay, so folding is queen.
So
Makes sense.
we're doing pretty well against a lot of that.
I just button and cut off, I doubt are folding ace queen off, but
So here I'm always going all in. I think it's the best play.
yeah.
What was the result there? We just ripped and he folded.
Yeah.
I like ripping it there too.
Here?
No, at the queens.
Do we ever squeeze on this ace four?
No.
Okay,
I think the equity of this hand starts squeeze, like it comes from, you gotta be out of the 4-bet jamming range. So like guns and raises is just going to rob us quite frequently, I think.
meaning we squeeze,
Sorry,
you would
So
love,
meaning, I'm sorry, I should have explained, like, if you're gonna squeeze a hand like that, you need to see a flop with it, or you need to get a fold pre-flop. So I think at like 50, 40 big blinds, the typical response for a lot of the range is to just 4-bet jam and run equity pre-flop.
okay,
So that strategy becomes less prevalent, like when you're past 60 or 70 big blinds, somewhere in there.
okay,
So until you get to that point where like the equity of their hand shifts to taking it post flop, I don't think you do a lot of squeezing with those wheel aces because it's a disaster when you get 4-bet jammed on.
right, okay.
You gotta mute that ACR, dude.
Here I think we need to bet big on this turn.
Sorry.
What do you think about the big bet here?
Have equity, we.
Blind versus blind, I'm checking back. We can't make a straight. We don't have an overcard.
Check.
I'm sorry,
I'm a
but
fan
what do you
of,
mean you can't make the straight?
Oh, yeah, we got a gutter. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay, you can bet. I like it.
I'm betting big and then betting big on the river if I miss.
Yeah, I think that's a big bet spot. I don't know about the river, but I would love a big bet here. So he checks it down. Loses to ace high. The thing is, even if he bets big, I don't think he gets rid of him on the river. And I don't think it was I'm not sure if it's a good spot to bet on the river.
I think if we bet the turn, we're also betting the river.
Yeah, we blocked the spade with the 9, we blocked straight, so we probably gotta bluff the river.
Yeah, actually, I remember now. We should bet big on the turn, and on this river, we are actually at the bottom of our range. Because we didn't have very much that was betting like big on the turn that missed on the river. So like this was one of our worst hands. What do you guys like to do here?
Oh, flat.
F flat.
Oh, sorry. This is 6-handed. Raise or flat. I could do both.
I guess the hijack at this step. 40 big blind button versus hijack. No, big blind versus hijack. So big blind. And then hijack opens big blind strategy. And then we're looking at ace jack off, mostly a three bet.
Raise.
I'd like to three bet. Joe finds the call, which is fine. We get this flop. Facing a bet. What do you guys like to do here?
Check raise.
Our range wants to check raise. I don't know that our hand does.
Yeah, I think I just call.
Oh,
It's gonna raise 4x, 6x, 7x, backdoor flushes. 4x, 6x, 7x. We're gonna raise eight. We're gonna raise like ace five here. Ace four, ace six. The backdoor flushes.
pairs.
Yeah, obviously our sets. Maybe even like king four, backdoor flush will raise, king six, backdoor flush will raise.
With the 3 and the 2, it's probably a board that he's still range betting. Right?
Yeah.
But he has to be careful because any like a card under 8 is a real problem for him here.
So
5-3, isn't it?
he has a lot of checks here.
Ace jack's betting quite a bit. Not ace jack off though, right? No.
So
That was him, not us.
that's in position. So now when he bets, and like ace jack is a pure call.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what are we raising with?
The upper danglers to the straight, like a
So ace
six, a
five, ace-
7, an 8, a
We do,
6.
we do use the ace five. I'm surprised. I didn't think it would use ace four and ace three. I thought it would use ace six. Oh yeah, ace three, I thought it would use ace. I didn't think it would use ace four. Ace five, I thought it would use.
Wanna pick like, if you look at 6-5 suited there, it would be a full frequency raise.
Yeah.
Facing the turn bet. I'm always folding. What do you guys
Yeah,
do?
I'm done.
Folding.
Alright. What
Can
about,
we see
this one?
what the solver solution was for that turn?
3-bet.
What do you mean? Are you watching the hand? You call two
Are we
bullets
supposed to
here?
fold here?
Are you a calling station?
We don't have any hearts.
Do you really?
Only
call
on Wednesdays.
Like seriously? Tell me you call here. Tell me you call once in your life here.
I could call.
You could?
I'm fold.
Wow,
Are you tempting Vince with a loose call?
it seems like I am.
You're asking the wrong guy.
Lap up the queen of the
Maybe even throw in a little race ski. Ah, look at that.
Oh.
Oh, look at that. You should be folding. So it's like a majority fold with ace jack. You can find some calls sometimes. If you block,
What's our
Yeah.
exact combo? No
If
heart,
you-
right?
yeah, if you block the backdoor flush, you can venture into like, whatever you're up to. Otherwise, man, it's just a fold.
Look at the ace of diamonds, jack of hearts, though. That's almost always calling.
No, actually, you know what? The ace of heart is straight up folding.
Yeah.
Good thing we don't have the ace of hearts.
Weird, man.
You want the jack of hearts.
Why?
So I think it's a very, very thin call.
Cause he's not bluffing ace of hearts.
Like people are not gonna do this to you.
We got the flop wrong again. It's 5-3-2, not 5-4-2.
Hey, guys.
Or he's probably bluffing ace of hearts, so we probably don't wanna have the heart, so he can be bluffing ace of hearts, baby.
Yeah.
No.
No, we want the jack of hearts.
Yeah, I'm saying, if we don't have, he must be bluffing ace of hearts some, so we don't wanna have it.
I don't, oh, okay. That makes sense now. Thank you, Cap.
Yeah, he
And
is.
then the jack
bluffing
of hearts
a lot.
blocks its value because it makes the flush less likely to come.
Actually, he's bluffing all his offsuit ace, X of hearts and all of his backdoor flush. So having the ace of heart is really bad.
Three-bet.
I think I'm tempted to rip here.
I think this is just a regular three bet.
This is not a bad combo to, you're probably in rip range. You gotta be close.
I like
I
the
also
bet.
think this is I think this is a reasonable flat as well. I think,
Oh no,
yeah.
look, thinking about it now, I think it's just, sometimes you just have to look at your opponent in the eye and say all in, all
That's
in.
the, that's the fuck this guy, he can't
I
call
mean,
rule,
under
right?
40, I'm definitely ripping it. So, I mean, we're like, I mean, it's
So
close.
close.
I mean, if this guy's open, if he's V-pipping his 50% or whatever he's supposed to be opening, I'm ripping it, dude. I'm just fucking it.
So,
Open
at
it and
40,
in the chat box, you say I have either aces, ace, king, or ace five suited. That's what you should do.
so what's interesting is it kind of like at 40, it goes from like almost a full frequency rip to 50 where it's almost a full frequency call. So,
That's what I was gonna say. This, I think it's actually kind of nice. I almost like three betting like ace six, ace seven more because they're trashier, you know?
Yeah.
Like
So-
three bet fold to four bet.
Our
just
poker
means-
coaching
yeah.
charts have a sliver of call, but if you look at pre-flop academy here, it was pure jam, I think.
yeah, it means the equities are definitely running very close.
Yeah.
Between
All in
call,
is twice as better as calling.
so actually, funny enough, at 40, the equity of calling is actually the highest equity point. But jamming is the majority decision, so it's kind of balancing some of the other combos, I think.
Oh, but we make that pair. Oh no. Check, bet off button.
Yeah, you don't love it, but
I
think
wonder
you're
if we ever
probably-
get to lead there. If we ever get to donk multi-way.
Heads up, maybe, but I don't know about with the big line in the hand.
If there
Our
was,
Because-
with two broadways on the board, you have some leads. Matt Affleck did a webinar on this multi-way recently with like, whenever there's two Broadway, the small blind has some leads.
I will say, it's a great, I mean, if you're gonna find a combo to donk, I think this is one of them, like top pair, top kicker. You know, like if big blind has king five and button is gonna check back, you love to get a bet in.
So the challenge with it is, okay, like there's some straights out there, but how many of the straight combos do we have? I guess we do have ace three, which is protecting the range. We are blocking it. It's probably not a bad lead then.
I really don't think we have any leads here because our range, when we call, look at this, it's like suited nines, offsuit tens.
Oh, we
Suited
call?
eights. So like.
Yeah, but we have every set.
also
No.
ace, King, queen.
Yeah, but Louis, we got some nutty shit. We've got deuces, fours, and fives as well. I mean, that's pretty nutty.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, man, we
got
balance.
sevens.
We gotta find a way to balance the nuts and it's not really showing up there very clearly.
Oh, we've got some seven,
three,
six,
ace
queen
six.
six, king six are all kind of like reasonable.
Yeah.
No donking because you can't have the offsuit straights.
Anyhow, the question for this hand is not here, okay? It's not the decision point. The best decision point is, say we call, the big blind calls.
I mean, but also I think that one deserves to be interrogated because I think there's a case for raising flop.
Yeah. Check on the turn. The tree comes on the river. We check. The big blind makes it 12 big blinds. 13. The button calls.
Yeah, I'm out.
What are you doing here with ace five?
I'm out.
What
I
about
don't
you?
know. We're getting a crazy good price. We need 22% equity to call. I think it's close actually.
Are you?
Oh,
winning
this is
20%
this
of the
is the
time?
fun one we looked at, Louis.
Yes, sir.
All right, so I called this before. I've shared this with God's Big Toe to see if he'd run it. But this was my logic to fold. Okay, so Foxcat's got basically full frequency 6x.
Even
All
6,
right.
7.
He's got even the nuts. He's got 6-7 in range.
As do we.
Big
have 6-7
Sleep has
range.
got all of the aces as well, even though we're blocking it. When he calls, he's not calling with worse than like a straight here. I
Yeah.
don't think. Maybe pocket jacks at some frequency or something crazy like that, but it's a straight. So
I bet a set he's supposed to call with, but it's a small part of his range, right?
I mean, when you're not closing the action and you have a guy behind still,
Pretty sick.
I feel like it's too marginal.
The button
So,
protects
like-
us too, like the big blind just can't be bluffing. And once the button calls, like that protects this guy from like just going crazy with his bluffs next time. So like I can just check out and not worry about it and hate it.
So like, assume like they both have an ace. You're calling 13 here to win 6 chips back or 6 big blinds back essentially. I just don't think it's worth it. It's like calling an all-in or something on a monotone board when you don't have the suit. You just don't really, you're not incentivized to call for chops, and it just seems like it's not worth it. It's a fold. I'd much rather just let go of the 6 big blinds I committed, because they're gonna have to show down their hands regardless, and if they are out of line, you can make notes and approach the situation next time. with that one.
When I first saw this hand, I thought it was we had to call, but then thinking about it, it's very, very clear we never ever win here.
If button folded, I'd probably have to call and I hate it.
The best scenario, we're gonna.
I think that's a lot more reasonable. Yeah, you've convinced me.
And you can
never
call for chops here.
You never scoop. You're losing pretty high frequency. You're chopping 2 ways, pretty low frequency. You're chopping 3 ways, pretty fair frequency. You just never scoop this pot. Never.
No, not against 2 opponents. Against 1, I think it's really mandatory because like big blind could have gotten out of line or just could have just like bluff. He needs to have bluffs. So like that's
Tim, I
fine.
agree 100%. Like if Foxcat bets here and Big Sleep folds, we have to bluff catch with our ace.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, because he could do that with like 4-7 or something is a very reasonable hand to bluff here.
This is where Joey becomes a bit of a wizard here. And Joe goes with the fold. And I really like this play of his. I think that's really, really good poker here.
Yep.
By the way, did this get run through simple 3-way? Because I'm really wondering about raising flop.
They haven't gotten back yet.
Yeah,
Okay. I'll be curious about that.
Yeah.
I would have raised pre.
Yeah, so overall,
Yeah.
like raising
guess I don't
pre-flop is
know
a
how
good
the-
option, going all in pre-flop is a good option. But yeah,
And ace jack checked back the turn, right? So like if he bets, he's not in this spot. Like, I don't know if 10-6 can, like, if it goes call, does 10-6 peel?
no, I don't
Hard
think.
to say.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he should.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, so
Hard to say.
this player got cute by checking the turn. With this top pair, he got a bit greedy. He should have bet it. He probably
You
gets.
know, I didn't even notice that the first time, Louis. Him checking back in a 3-way pot with
Yeah, on this run out. it's
Jack.
like- Yeah, in position,
I don't know
that's
what you're
pretty
doing.
greedy from him.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
That's not greedy. That's just stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Just play.
he's trying to make a play with like a very marginal hand, so that's why I think.
I
I
just
know.
looked him up on just looked him up on Shark Scope and he's hidden. If that tells you anything.
He's
It's
what?
just giving
Instead,
free equity away.
Yeah,
except Barack Obama. She's the only one who opts out and it's good.
what do you guys like to do here?
Just call.
This is a why call.
I think he's got the equity advantage.
I think you're missing out if you don't raise here.
I think I raised small as well.
So he's polarized when he docks. He's either got a draw or a very strong hand. So
This
I
texture
call.
with 2 key cards for the big blind here, he's gonna have a very funky leading strategy.
very polarized, right?
No, it's gonna be
No,
Not
he's
more
just
so.
donking.
It's
This is
just
all
like,
over his range.
yeah, it's small
He's
size.
dunking a ton. He
Yeah.
should be dunking
Two
just a bunch of
pairs,
7x
you
and
got-
6x, right?
2 pairs, sets, straights, and he should have ace-7 in his range, right? So, and
Yeah,
like
but
pairs and backdoor flush draws, like big set, king-7 of clubs and spades and ace-3 and 6 of spades and like,
Yeah, but he's the big blind, so he has all these suited sevens in the world.
yeah,
Why do you only think about the bad one?
yeah.
no, but I'm thinking, yeah, but I'm ahead of all his bluffs and I'm behind, he's sort of polarized.
Ahead of a lot
So,
of his
hold on,
opponents.
hold on.
All
You gotta look at what he's actually doing with his range. So 6-4.
no.
6-4, 3-5, any pair plus flush draws doing this. Some players will have maybe king queen here or king jack here. They just recognize what the board should be doing and they're gonna be donk leading this at some frequency. Like,
But I'm
I
ahead of
basically
all that.
agree. He should have lots of weak 7x that has to
well, you
call,
are
like,
ahead of it. But that's like saying, okay, that's like saying that you have pocket eights on a 7-high board. And that's like making an argument for flatting. Like, you raise those boards because, right, you are ahead right now. You have the equity advantage, but you're vulnerable. If he's just doing this with 6-4 and you don't blow his equity out the water, he's got a solid 35% that he gets to set the price for.
That is, I totally agree with that. He's gonna have a lot of.
I can raise queens, jacks, 10s, 9s. I can raise, I guess, aces and kings some frequency. Like I can raise.
Look at all the value you're leaving on the table. You
It's
went
raising
at
up,
jack-
mix, right? So what's
Jacks-
ace-7 doing? What's the EV?
Every 7.
Stop looking at ace-7. Think about all these leads he has here.
Well, you asked what to
With
do with the
jack
hand. I got
seven,
top pair,
seven,
top
nine,
kickers, the
seven.
hand I'm playing.
And like, you have some 6 here, like 8-6, 6,
Combo draws.
or 6-3, 6-5.
Oh, wait, this is the donk range.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not
Right.
even, I'm bluffing, but I'm got a ton of value. I'm just saying, what do we do with our hand?
a7 always raising.
Sure.
Raising.
You
And
blast
it's,
his ass.
the
out of
same
the water.
EV.
Yeah, because he's gonna have like king X with a backdoor flush draw.
Yeah, he should
So-
have king
Well-
7 here, king 6 some, maybe he's gonna have king 5, king 3 of the backdoor flush draws, king 8. So, yeah,
yep, he's got a bunch of garbo.
Pure
I know
raise.
his population is donking the fold a lot.
No, they're
No,
not.
you
That's
are
the
right.
best
Like,
part.
he gets to do this donking because his range is protected with like a lot of strong
Yep.
hands.
Yeah, like 2 pair. He has a lot of 2 pairs.
If
we wanna-
population like leads 10-7 here, they're not folding.
Yep.
But this is how you're supposed to combat donking. Like you want to raise a linear range against this. And that's how you like kind of neutralize the equity of some of this stuff.
so what's the EV of, say, jacks here? Just curious what the difference is between, so it's ace-7's better, right? What was ace-7, 131?
Yeah, I actually
Well, no,
think you're supposed to raise a7, king 7 more than you're supposed to raise aces and kings, because a7 and king 7 needs protection. You don't want to see a jack, you don't want to see a queen, you don't want to see a 10, but aces and kings you actually could call because it needs no protection.
So having a
And,
7
like,
bluffs
it's
some
like-
of his, like, if we have a 7 here, we're bluffing some of his value part, like his 2 pairs combos now, right? Like, we're blocking some of his draws, the 7-8, 7-5, and we're blocking some of his value, like 7-6, 7-4, sets of 7. So I guess that's why
Yeah.
ace-7's better than jacks.
I think there's also a thing here where like, it's a double-edged sword. You're blocking some of his value, but also you're coolering a bunch of his value. Like you love it when he has king
Yeah.
7. And like when
I
the
think
when the
that's where
7
some
pairs,
comes from.
that's not common, but like when the 7 pairs, you're getting all his chips, right?
Yeah.
Ace-7 can also improve more than jacks has more cards to improve than jacks.
So
Again.
Yeah.
And ditto, like
That's
if he
right.
has ace queen or something weird, like with ace comes, you also get all of his chips or almost all his chips.
Yeah, so very nice raise here. The only thing we could say is that the solver here likes to use bigger sizes. It likes to go 5x.
Interesting way to think about it.
Is this him ready for 80 big blinds, Ken?
Well, I tell you, it's checking a lot more than your solution, whatever we were looking at.
Can you
I'm
show?
almost done. I'm down to 0.53
Okay,
and we are checking.
well, 0.5 is good if you wanna show it.
It's almost
Yeah,
done.
please, I'm
We're
really
checking about
interested.
about 25% on the flop.
So before we kind of look at it, like, I want to recap what the hand was. It was ace jack offsuit on a king.
Bring the hand
jack.
back up and this can run
King
for,
jack 3.
King Jack 7.
it was king jack 7.
Okay. I mean, if it's mostly converged, it'll be fine, I think.
So we are down it bumped back up. It was at 50. It just went, now it'll jump back down real fast again.
Yeah, that's just the CFR algorithm. That's how it kind of does.
So it is a range bet on this flop. 80% betting.
But we do have more checks now. Like this is checking 20%, 21%, something like that.
Sure, but overall,
Yeah,
even deeper and like you see, the overall strategy didn't change very much. We were checking
Yeah.
like 10%, now we're checking 20%.
27.
Right,
Yeah,
so,
back up. That's why you
yeah.
should run a little bit.
What are the positions in this one?
High jack and cutoff, I think it was. Low jack and cutoff.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Low jack cutoff.
Low jack raises, cutoff calls.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we checked and then he bet small. Right?
And that was a majority of bet, and that was the low jack's action. So majority low jack bets out on this board.
So like, yeah, see, I thought he would bet 55% when it's checked too. It's 63. So I mean, it's a lot of bets, right? You get to bet a lot. Like,
30%. Not that much. Polarized, big bets.
I mean, it's so interesting how he's hanging back on
37%.
some of his, he's really protected on his king X. Checks king 10, checks king queen. Like people aren't doing that in real life.
Alright,
Yeah.
he's supposed to bet large, so this is gonna fuck it all up.
He's still got some small bets though.
One combo.
Oh geez.
Still gonna
You're
work
right.
out in the
Those are
tree,
Very
okay.
large. You're right.
And what was the turn? Queen of hearts.
Queen of hearts.
He bet half pot. I put exactly half pot in there. It's not a
Yeah.
thing. So he's supposed to bet small. We're still calling.
Do we know what his holding is?
Do we know
No,
what?
It never showed.
What
down.
Bill? Okay, we don't know villain's holding.
No, we folded on the river.
So, yeah, we call. What was the river? A brick, right?
Yeah, 2 or 3 of clubs or diamonds. This would be.
And he bet half pot again?
No, he went small.
No, he went small, 1/3 pot.
Well, I didn't even put that in, 'cause it's not a thing either.
Yeah.
I forgot his river bet size, so I mean,
Okay.
half pot, we're still mostly folding.
Checks out.
So,
Yeah, when we lead that flop, he's in a tough spot.
I'm gonna let it keep running. I don't think it's gonna change much though. Yeah, we're supposed to bet. Like, I'm not betting, nothing close to this.
yeah, range bet the flop.
Yeah, a few weeks ago, Jonathan Little did a spot where he talked about a player who opens the action and then another player who flats before the button. And in those situations, king high boards or specifically paired king high boards are ones that you get to lead on a lot because his range has a lot less kings in it than your opening range will. Because you're gonna have more suited kings. He's gonna have less because he's gonna 3-bet some of those kings, and he's also gonna have he's not gonna have all the strong kings that you do because the strong kings that he have will have 3-bet. Like he doesn't have ace king or king on that board, and you do. So you get to range bet him there.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So we raised, we call blind versus blind. We see bet here. I think it's good, but I also like checking. I think both options are fine. We take it down.
Here's a good example of a king board where we're the aggressor. He just has a lot less kings that he's defending there.
Let's
Yeah, but
see.
this is different though. You're talking about a guy who called an open in the middle of the field. This is the big blind calling a small blind open. He's gonna have a bunch of kings.
Yep.
Like all the way down to king off, king deuce off.
I think it's nice though, he's got way more shit too. Way more shit, which is nice.
But he doesn't have the top of the range, right? With those.
Yeah,
Whereas
neither
we
the top or the bottom, so he's like condensed when on his keys. He has
Yeah,
a
he-
bunch of them, but he's condensed. Even on aces and kings, he's condensed. As just the middle-ish ones.
He
Or the-
doesn't, but the big blind's gonna have like king deuce off versus a field caller doesn't have that. That's why you could bet on a king high board when the field caller's calling, but not in this situation.
he
Hey,
shouldn't
what do
be
you guys
charged.
like to do here?
Going back on the ace jack hand, how do we find that that's a range bet when the first thought of looking at it is I'm out of position with a marginally made hand, second pair top kicker. So I should be check calling and trying to catching bluffs.
I have the good old answer here. We have the nut and range advantage on this texture. As the early position opener versus like a
Right.
condensed range that has more like, that is missing the top of the range.
Okay,
I think it's tough. I think the real answer we need right there is, we need to look at some aggregated reports on out of position play at deep stack depths. And,
Blind versus blind specifically.
no, I'm talking about
This
the
is-
low jack. I'm talking about the low
yeah, I
jack.
was talking about the low jack one too.
Oh.
But yeah, we need to just look at some heuristics for deep stack play out of position like that. I think it's just kind of like, your question was like, how do you figure that out? Like, when you get an ace high board versus the big blind and you're in a steal position, you just range bet that because you have, like
Yeah.
Lou was saying, the range advantage. We just have all the aces. They don't have they don't have as many of the aces. So I think it's just similar to that kind of heuristic.
I mix with this hand, but I'm gonna probably fold with a 18 big blind stack in the small blind. I'm just gonna fold this.
I'm folding.
I like flatting this at some frequency.
Yeah, I mix this, but since there's a short stack behind me, I'm just gonna pass.
I don't think it folds, right?
I don't
How deep
know.
are we? 30?
Let's look at both. So hijack versus cutoff. 40. Cutoff, hijack open cutoff strategy with 9-8 suited. This would be mixing calls and folds. And at 30. Cutoff, hijack opens cutoff strategy. At 30, the shorter we get, the less of a call this is.
Yeah, so I think
Less
I like
That
folding.
nine's always gonna be in there, right? 9-8 starts getting a little wonky.
Yeah, so it's mixing. So if you fold here, it's fine.
Yeah, especially because of that.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful hand.
Alright.
This is all in.
I mean, I'd stop them off.
This is Jesus himself going all in from the bottom.
We can't possibly win then.
So what do you guys think here? Let me give you a few, what do you guys do here with ace deuce offsuit?
Fold.
Call.
Calling.
Fold.
Is he jamming really wide? I wasn't
fully-
here the first
Any
hour.
aces, I'm probably calling king 5 suited. I'm probably calling king 6 or 7 off, queen 8 off.
It's been 50 hands now, and I'm not under the impression that this guy's too out of line, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I
Not
think
be a
I've
line,
seen
got
him.
10 bigs, like he's gotta just play, he's gotta jam a lot.
Also, we have no info, then fold.
We do know that it's Jesus himself, so that's that should
Well,
weigh
we-
in. So what do you do with ace deuce off?
Fold.
Call or fold?
I
I think you're
fold.
supposed to call.
Fold.
but,
I'm not folding any aces.
Okay, what do you do with king 10 suited?
Oh,
Fold.
on the king 5 suited.
Scott, what do you do with king 10 suited?
Who did you ask?
You,
Call.
okay, what do you do with jack 9 suited?
Consider folding. That's the next thing. Because as the odds that I don't even have the top card.
Okay,
So-
so do you call
Well,
all the
pitching a
suited ace?
lot.
Do you call ace deuce of diamonds here?
Yes, but not offsuit.
Okay, what do you do with king 6 suited?
I think call king 6, king 5, fold king 2, 3, 4, maybe fold.
You're
but
calling
definitely-
with king 6 suited here?
I am.
Absolute beasts. So what do you think
I
about?
also may have, also kept saying that he was calling with king 5 suited also may have influenced me. I have to be honest.
I'm a fish. I should
So what do
listen.
you think is the best play here?
Fold.
I wanna
gotta look it up
fold.
now. Nervous.
Fold, yeah.
Fold.
Button.
This is probably a call, depending. Like I think it's a GTO call, then you can
I
make
called
your
my
decision based on the
offsuit.
play.
I missed my offsuit. I
like
called too many
Benjamin
offsuit
there.
kings and too many offsuit queens. Everything else I hit good.
Call all the aces.
So
Yeah.
all the aces are calling.
I was down to king 7 off and queen 8 off. Everything else I hit.
Yeah, but you
King
say we have
five
no
suited.
info on the guy, right?
Yeah, I don't care. It doesn't matter. So if I have no info, I'm just, I mean, it's 10 bigs. I'm calling. I got king high.
King 6 suited, I ask. It was frisky, right, with king 6? And then look at this jack 9 suited here.
But it's right on the cusp.
Yeah, right on the cost.
Yeah.
So there was a funny one.
Plus it's a 215. I gotta figure like the guy's at least decent. So, I mean, I'm gonna be calling.
So the winner here folded. You
Yeah.
should fold.
Yeah, very thin though.
Oh, Sam, don't be
it's
so
not-
results oriented.
Yeah, but I mean, considering they're not
Considering they're
60K.
not
jamming wide enough, you should just fold a little bit tighter than what the chart says.
We don't
That's
know.
true.
It's just not,
Wider. We don't know.
it's not printing.
I'd say it's wide to remove the bottom of the range of charts very often.
So he's jamming, he should be jamming jack 7 suited. So jack 9 suited isn't really that much on the 10 7 suited, 10 8 suited, 9 7 suited, 8 7 suited, 7 6 suited.
So here,
Could be,
pre-flop,
but
And 9 off.
here pre-flop, it's a limp. I like that. We get to this flop and it goes check, check. On this turn,
Bet.
Alright, so this is some GTO wizard shit here.
yeah. The big blind bets 2 big blind and Joe the wizard. What do you think? What do you guys think Joe the wizard is doing here?
He check raises.
Apparently he's gonna raise.
Fold.
You guys, you think Joe the wizard is here to fold? No, Joe the wizard is raising here. And
The delayed check raise versus large sizing on the turn. With 7 high.
yeah. So we
Yeah,
looked at this
'cause
hand
he's
here.
capped this.
So we looked at it yesterday and this was a solver approved check raise. That was some absolute wizardry.
Wow.
You wanna raise with hands like 5-6, 6-7, 7-5, things that can make a straight here. Yeah,
You like king three a lot for whatever reason.
It's got the over to the queen.
And then it was, all the queens, every single one of your queen X was taking this line if you somehow managed to check here.
yeah.
But do we check twice with our queen often?
Low frequency.
Queen with a low card probably, right?
Yeah, like, queen seven does quite a bit of checking.
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of weird, but
Yeah. So what, that's a pretty sick raise. I don't think I find it often enough.
So does the solver want to have a spade when it does this actually to block some of their continuing range? I
so
mean,
Ken, you found the caveat. So I talked with Joe about it. He looked at Odin and Odin does it with all combos of 6-7, but my Pio sim only does it full frequency with the spade blockers.
Yeah, you gotta have a spade, right? That's what I think. That's what I
So, yeah, it's close. It's like EV's running close with it, but that was the deciding factor.
I mean, like, I think I could find it if I had a spade. I would have never considered this exact hand, but I think with the spade, I could find it.
And the idea is our spade blocks him from having a spade draw. And if he has a spade draw, do we think that he's gonna 3-bet, that he's gonna re-raise us
Oh,
there?
but he's never folding.
He's not folding. And although he's gonna fold if he misses on the river, we just don't want to get to the river and have to bluff this twice.
I think, yeah, the spade just helps block it's a relevant blocker and, it blocks calls.
Right, because we want to get our fold. We want to get our fold now. We don't want to have to bluff this twice.
Yeah,
Right.
so the first motion is that after it goes check on the flop, this hand is going a little bit bananas here on the turn directly. So you have some leads here from the turn, from the small blind,
Mm-hmm.
especially with this hand.
Right. And the 6-5 always bets.
There's also a sliver of like checking. And then when we check and our opponent bets small,
Bet large, right?
this is where Joe the Wizard comes around.
Nice.
He
Because
bet,
look at all the other ones here around it. And Joe really finds the combo.
didn't he bet large? He bet 2 and a 3.
Yeah.
Same.
So it doesn't matter if you have a spade or not. In fact, the one spade is the.
Well, Ken, this is a little different. We were looking at 30 last night, which is the scenario it actually is, and this is 20, but
Okay,
it doesn't really matter that much.
right.
It's obviously close.
Look at the difference between 6-5, between 7-5 and 7-6. That's weird.
Yeah.
'Cause those seem like exactly the same hand to me.
Yeah, so Joe found the sliver here, the perfect GTO play, and that's really nice.
Yeah, it's just, I was really impressed with this. I thought it was a really obscure line to take with this combo. Like,
And that's a huge pot when you're, a shorter stack like around this size. When you can steal pots like that, it's phenomenal.
well, it is. Yeah, it's important.
Do you ever do it with like ace-8 though?
Ace-7, I think, was one. No, I don't think ace-7 was. That was a different hand. I think your aces probably want to try to get to showdown still.
No, ace-8. That's a pair. That's a strong second pair.
You probably call, I would think. I don't know.
No, I'm just wondering, like, what value do we have there?
Queen, yeah, like the one when I looked last night, it was Queen X.
Okay, so that was a weird one, but I would see bet here. What do you guys think? Under the gun versus under the gun one?
Yes,
Sure.
big.
Yeah, we
No?
talked about this one last night too.
There.
Yeah, with the diamond especially, I really like betting here. So bet small on the turn after it goes check, check, any fold.
Were you supposed to bet small?
I believe it's a bet small on the flop.
No, if we do choose to check because it's an ace high board,
Well, would you like to see it?
yeah.
I think it was a majority check in the actual sim we checked.
What?
Are we gonna? Are we supposed to check this flop often though?
Yeah, I think we are.
No way.
'Cause it's ace.
I think it was because Louis, we were talking about it and I said I said I would check and Louis, he asked why, like I was an idiot. He was like, why would you do that?
If he's a few caller, his range is
I
like
am incredulous as well.
quite strong.
I don't understand why you.
So this is,
here.
it's also 30, so you need it at 30.
This is 30?
All right, cool.
Under the gun, one sliding against under the gun is the strongest range, right?
Yeah.
So
What are we afraid of?
Though he
Ace
doesn't
jack
have,
nine you got. It's
yeah,
a
though
different
he doesn't
suit.
have all the nut advantage, but his range is even tighter than ours. Like he's not gonna have king 8 suited. We have king 8 suited.
So
I
there's
mean,
a bunch of
it's
checking.
tighter than ours, but it's also condensed. He's missing the top of his range
Yeah,
particularly.
he's missing top of his range.
So we are checking 70%.
Yeah, we are checking 70%, betting 30%. When we
Uh,
do bet, we're betting our best king.
Yeah, the one with
That's
this, the card of the suit, like the king of spade here, is betting more often than the other one, so that's why I would always lean towards betting here.
But if we do check, if you go there, if we do check what happens on a turn, and he checks back.
Check, check. 8 of hearts.
Do we go large with ace king to catch up with value?
Nope, just small.
Just small.
Yeah, it's still super dangerous, right? Like that 8 of hearts is not great for us.
Fold.
Yeah, fold.
What do you guys do here?
Fold.
I don't want to call.
Anybody three betting?
This was
That is
another one.
good. Yeah,
No.
This one was a little bit spicy.
but I think the sizing is too big.
Offsuit 10x definitely does some of this. I wasn't finding this combo, but we did look at it and it was.
I like this. Yeah. I like the size.
I would mark a small blind for min raising one burst.
This would be
Yeah,
a.
I don't think.
at
Yeah,
20.
I don't think it has a 3-bet small when it's at around 20. It just jams.
Yeah. So we could go all in here.
I don't like once he jams, we might be pot committed. Like
What do you guys like to do here against Jesus?
Raise.
Jesus has got 12.
yeah, raise and call it off.
Yeah, we don't want to jam.
You could probably jam 35.
I was thinking we want to fold. Oh, because we don't, you don't want to fold if we get jammed on by the, not by Incris, but by Foxcat.
yeah, I don't think we care. Like if we opened it and somebody else jammed, we're still calling it off.
We're
so we
calling,
could just rip
calling
it.
off hands. Okay.
Yeah, I think 35. 35's got weird behavior. It starts to shift to a more defensive strategy, but like, I'll check. So what was it like? We were in
Well,
the
wait.
bucket.
If we're gonna raise and then call off Foxcat's jam, we should just jam ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Also marking Jesus.
I'm thinking we're not gonna call off Foxcat because once we do this, we're saying we have a hand and he still jams. His range is 9s is just not very good against that range.
We could also fold to the jam from the big blind.
Yeah,
right?
like
For him
they
to-
both cover us.
Yeah.
And if they put the money in, our 9s is like close to dead.
right? Someone who wants to enter a pot that's already 3-bet.
This is when I think if I had like 25, I would just put the money in, but 35, I still have a little left. So I don't mind doing this.
I would never fold nines. ICM, sure, I'll fold nines.
All right.
Look, there's an all in a call in front of me.
Adam Ranger is wondering what about what's someone going to jam against our pocket nines there? Right, our pocket nines are going to be in tough shape against the 4-bet from either Foxcat or the Altazor guy.
I mean,
What do you guys like to do?
King, queen suited is gonna be doing that at some portion, like ace, jack suited's probably supposed to be doing that. Like we're doing okay versus some of it.
I think this is just a call, right? I mean,
I raised to fold.
we're getting 2.5 to 1.
Can't
But
raise that range.
I don't think we're not gonna see a river very often. I wouldn't be surprised if it folds because it's against an early position.
What?
No, it'll call.
No, I say I'm not surprised if it says fold because it's against the early position.
You think this end ever folds?
No.
I don't think it does.
Any suited, nothing suited.
So
Yeah.
we're mostly calling.
Yeah, mostly calling. Uh-oh, now we're not gonna fold.
Pick up an 8.
That's great.
All right, we gotta check and guess now.
Yep, that's what we got to do.
Marginal made hand.
Yeah, don't bet it. Oh, he blocked it.
5. Do we block bet with this hand?
Not with this hand. This hand is way too weak.
We want to block bet with queens, right?
Yeah, like a queen, you could block bet.
Yeah, queens are definitely block betting.
Yeah.
Kings are sizing up for value.
Yeah, king is our top value, and then the queen is you could block bet, and then
Most of our eights are, we can block bet our eights if they have second.
ace, yeah, if it's a strong kicker.
Two pair here. But most of the eights, like 8-7 though, 8-7 is losing it.
What's protecting the queen block bet from the jams? Or are we calling off all those queens?
No, I don't think we're calling off if he jams.
So what's the?
But I think you're worrying too.
All the kings are betting big. All the queens are betting.
Our queen 8-2 pair.
I think second pair is protecting that bet.
Wow. So that's okay. So take a look at what that range does against a jam for the queens.
Holding.
Those calls off with queen 8, the 2 pair.
Queen 8 is running it. Queen 7 is bet folding most of the time.
Right.
And bet folding most of the
Okay,
time.
because we have the queen 5. It's the 2 pairs that we have.
Yeah.
Like we still have 83 in there and we still have queen 8. So
okay, good.
If you want to get frisky, you can play the queen deuce, call it off, see how that works for you. But
The queen 4 calls it off.
yeah, definitely. Snap it off with queen 4.
gross.
Anyway, this is more of a check, but we get away with it. What do you guys think about this one? I don't like it. I think he
Just
should.
fold.
Well, maybe he has a read that the big blind doesn't raise much.
Why be there anyway?
Was the big line the guy who just got owned by Joe?
I don't know, but. Oh, it's Jesus. I don't think you can
Yeah.
play
fold.
back at Jesus with this.
Jesus.
Would you do that ace four differently in the cutout for the button? Or just that he's so early that we just give up, that we don't fight it?
No. Against early position, ace five, the wheels are not gonna do well. This is too short.
Okay,
When we're deeper in a cash game, for example, it does well.
yeah, that's why I'm asking. That's why I'm,
But here, that was one of my #1 leagues when I started to play tournaments. I would flat a lot of suited aces like this, trying to make the nut as if I was 200 big blinds deep against it, no?
Yeah, but you're not.
It
You're
goes
12
with
big
short
blinds deep.
stack size here.
okay.
So what do you guys think that we should do on this flop?
Just bet ace high.
Oh, yeah, bet.
Range bet any two cards.
Yeah, those are
Yeah.
two cards.
It's fine if he folds 9-10.
What do you guys think about this defense?
Hate it.
It's fine.
Fold.
We're peeling against
Fold.
the button a lot.
Yeah, but
15 effective.
yeah,
I think it's in there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Except
Yep.
Oh,
50-50.
it exists.
No wrong in folding.
Yeah, if the solver's mixing, it's okay to fold.
And check, and then he bets. It's fine. It's fine. We have a bunch of 6. After he goes check.
The jack's a pretty good, is a pretty good blocker, so.
Is a 9 folding here?
No.
I don't think this guy is.
No.
Once he checked back the flop and the turn, I think he's just pot controlling.
Should probably jam if he's gonna bluff.
This is when I would jam if I had a queen. I would just overbet jam the river.
I like betting the turn when we actually had a draw.
Yeah, but the turn card isn't good for us. It's a queen, and he checked back the flop. We don't even have a spade. I think if we had a spade, we could consider leading the turn.
I mean, if we bet some, we're probably gonna bet somewhat large. I mean, we're gonna probably bet at some. We have a jack.
Well, if he checks the flop, he should have less queens because his queens are going to be like queen jack and queen king. He's going to want to bet a lot of his hands that have a queen in them here.
Probably, yeah.
Right. So I think the queen is actually good for us, especially the big blind, because we defend pretty wide on our queens. Like we're defending jack 4 off.
Yeah,
so
but that's
queen 3 off.
That's GTO, but what do real life people do here with like king, queen? I think they check back a lot more because they don't want to face a jam. So I would argue that he actually has more queen than he should have.
How often do we bet the turn with our particular hand?
A little bit.
Yes.
A little bit, yeah.
So we could bet on the turn, start to bet on the turn, but when we check it down, we are not really betting unless we have
4 of spades.
or a spade here.
And we do size up when we bet the turn, because the queen is a relatively good card for the button, so we're gonna bet it, we're gonna bet larger, right?
We bet the 4 of spades. Yeah, we bet the 4 of spades a lot on the turn.
Yeah,
And if
the drive
we
back.
don't, we bet it all the time on the river.
Seems to be liking to bet spades a bit more, right?
Yeah, that's what I said.
It doesn't care very much about having the jack of spades. It likes the 4.
Yeah, he likes the 4.
No, because when you don't have the jack of spade, they're more likely to have the jack of spade. I think that's why.
And then when it goes check, check, we get to this river. And on this river,
You need this
when
4 spades.
we bluff, it's 80% pot, so close to this. So it's a good size. It's not a bad line. But we
But
need
not with
like
this particular
a
combo.
low spade basically to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you look at our worst jacks, Jack 3 and Jack 2, they're betting even more. Right? They're sizing up.
He owned us.
Yeah.
We've dedicated our chips to Jesus.
What do you guys like to do here?
Fold.
No, we're not folding. We're
Flat.
at least calling.
Flat.
What?
You don't want to get squeezed.
You
We're
can
not gonna
flat.
get. I don't think we're gonna get squeezed
I
at
think
all.
it's a pretty reasonable flat.
Anybody
At 30, I
going
think
all
you can
in
actually
here?
jam this.
Yeah. Anybody going all in?
We could, but 30 is a lot, man.
Yeah,
It is a
I
lot.
would wager that at 30, this is a majority flat. We're probably flatting like
I'm ripping.
probably like
I
up
think-
to 6s, and then we're just jamming 7s.
Yeah, I think 7s, 8s, we could start jamming.
Maybe jamming 6s, like flatting up to 5s.
I think we might
I think
rip our
Ben's
lower
right.
end and call our
And
middle
he's
end.
opening from the hijack, not the
Higher end.
cutoff, so.
I think we 3-bet our best 8 pairs. I was gonna
No.
say, call our middling and jam our low.
Okay, so more of a
Calling.
call here.
Okay. We don't fold any pairs.
We're not jamming even 8s or
No, we're not.
9s.
We're not jamming.
Yeah, you need 10s to be jamming.
I need to not jam here.
Yeah,
You're also looking at 40 though. The behavior is a little different.
I'm looking at, oh,
Yeah.
and a small blind.
I think we jam low pairs, call middle pairs, and 3-bet higher pairs.
Oh, there's a sliver. Yay,
Yeah, that looks more correct.
yay. So we need to go all in here 15% of the time.
oh, so we do jam 7s and 8s, cool.
What did he do with the 3s?
He called and
He
folded.
called.
Flop.
Okay.
I don't think we ever fold a pair there in that situation.
You're right. I was wrong.
All right, premium hand against the big blind, money making machine, bet.
I would bet
That's,
bigger there.
is that too big a bet?
No,
No, I would go bigger.
you can bet. You,
Look at the SPR.
I think it's fine. I would have bet
This is
small.
always
I
a-
would bet 66% pot.
Yeah, I would have won a third. You have a spade too.
I would go small. It's a big blind, right?
Yeah, I would go small.
I don't think it matters what we do here. It's just,
It doesn't very much.
Yeah.
though.
yeah.
because
think we
you,
just
it's got an
raised
ace,
that
it's got an
small.
ace, it's getting all in. And if he's got a,
Call.
Okay, so we have our first opponent for 15 big blinds. Going in. Have our second of, oh my god, it's Jesus.
Are we ICM yet? If we're near
No, the
ICM,
87 hand, this is really
if I'm near
early.
The bubble, I'm folding. Like if I'm like 30 out or whatever, I'm folding.
This is not the bubble. This is 87 hands out of how many? Like 600?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey.
I'm
Okay,
calling.
so what do we guys think we should do with pocket tens here?
Full tens, call jacks. Solver will say full nines, call tens.
I'm
think
still
Solver
folding. I
says
told him last night, I don't
factor.
know the
Full
answer.
tens here.
The solver will split tens and call jacks, yeah.
I don't.
I think the solver will probably mix the jacks. Like I feel like the jacks are probably the bottom here.
Yeah.
I think you guys-
Jacks is the bottom. I
You
would
think the
fold
solver
tens.
folds jacks for 20 big blind? No way.
No,
It's
man.
multi-way.
the solver's gonna-
No
yeah.
way.
It'll start mixing at
No
tens.
way. I wouldn't even surprise if the solver calls all the way down to 7.
I'm
No
I was thinking that-
way.
yeah,
No
I'm
way
probably with you.
sevens.
Solver is savage.
No, not,
I don't know.
Alright,
Just look
let's
at
see it,
it.
Louis.
no
Just
way.
look at it. Solver is
I-
savage. I'm telling you.
I don't know if you guys think of it this way, but when there's a
Jesus.
bet and a 3-bet, for me, ace, queen,
What's it
and
say?
tens become folds,
It calls
basically,
sevens
at
sometimes.
normal stack
It
size.
freaking call king 6 suited. Is this chart right?
Bro, this
Yeah,
guy's
it is,
not right.
but you need to like kill the outliers. Let's say, for example,
This-
probably tens.
This chart's insane. We don't mean this.
Yeah.
Do you see it? It's
says
calling
5-3 suited.
5-3 suited.
This is just
See
not
how
right.
savage it is?
Louis, look at the 15 effective chart.
15?
This
Yeah,
is, this chart is just wrong. The
This is a
solver,
multi-way all in, right? Just put it
Yeah.
in the
Control
solver.
C.
we looked at it last night. That chart's broken. I'll look at 25 real quick. So what do we got? EP and button. So
Yeah.
I'll just say multi-way.
Low jack versus button,
for 20 bigs.
and we're in the big blind.
Yeah, Galen, look at yours. Your pre-flop academy.
That's what I'm checking now.
Yeah, we have
So
some.
this is 25 effective.
No, it's 20. Why 25 effective? It's 18 effective.
Okay, I'm sorry, I had 17. You're right. So, hold on. I have stuff going on. So multi-way, we need to look at, I need to look at a cold 4 range. So the pre-flop raiser, we'll say MP versus.
Whoops.
So 17 from the big blind, a cold 4 betting range, which is essentially going to be this range that we're looking at here. It's calling at 17, ace queen off plus, ace queen suited plus, pocket eights plus.
I get 8, right?
That's at 17.
Yeah, so this
Yeah.
chart is for 15 big blind.
Same chart is, it's the same thing at 20. At 25, we start to tighten up a smidge.
What's the other chart that it's calling with all the junk? What's that?
It's I think it's a broken chart.
Deleted, please.
That's funny, broken.
So if you, yeah, it is, because if you just look at big blind versus low jack all in, it's mixing 5s and calling 6s plus. It's not calling all that wonky shit.
This right
So-
here, what Louis is looking at, this is, I think that's pretty
Yeah.
accurate.
That would be 15 big blinds. We're a bit deeper, but it's gonna be really close. We remove maybe 6, 7s and ace jack suited.
So I mean, like, go ahead.
I was just saying, so just think about this. Why are we calling sixes here? Why are we even, I see the chart is doing it. Why is it doing it?
Oh, you brought up.
Because your opponent, he's assuming the opponent is jamming and calling correctly wide. So
So
it's
like,
just trying to capture EV. It thinks
right.
sixes
The
has
EV of those hands goes up multi-way because of card removal effect, right? So like, there's gonna be a lot of times when the guy under the gun or early position has ace queen suited jams, gets isolated by queen
Ace.
king or ace king jams, and then they're blocking each other's outs, which increases
Right.
the EV of your pairs.
I would guess that we go like 3 pips tighter than we would normally call the low jack with.
I think in real game, like if I had 9s here, I would be really torn.
Yeah, I agree, Sam. I think that's probably a fine adjustment.
Like if I had ace queen suited and then 9s here, I would be really torn. Like
I guess
king
we
queen
could-
suited, I'm mucking it.
We could probably call 8s, ace jack suited. Ace king off. Ace queen off.
Yeah, it's spitting out similar results.
Yeah, I just looked at the call off range versus if the button jammed and then went like 3 pips tighter. And it kind of gave me eights plus ace jack suited, ace queen off.
So
So
this is what,
This should be our calling range. I think this one is an outlier. I think this here is really close to good.
Right. So HRC
also-
dropped the sixes and sevens.
So you want 10%, so drop the pocket eights and the
Yeah, as
queen
well.
jack suited, and then the pocket deuce and call
This
with,
one, you can drop it as well.
yeah, ace jack suited, ace queen off, and then nines.
That I can live with.
We call and we win.
Yeah, yo.
Hey, and that was,
This is why-
that's a triple
why you
up.
call.
Yeah,
This
that's,
is why you call with tens and eights and sixes and stuff.
What's
Yeah.
the bottom of our calling range here?
So I don't think ace 10 should probably be getting in there. What do we
Yeah, I
think?
was wondering about the ace 10. That seems his.
Should
Ace
should
10
ace
is,
10 suited from the
pip wide.
button be a call? I don't think so.
too
Is it?
So we looked at this one last night too. So fours is 2 pips too wide, ace tens 1 pip too wide.
Yeah, it's mixed fold and ace jack off already.
The
Yeah.
button didn't call, right?
Yeah.
The button call,
Rejammed.
the button
He
jam.
rejammed for
Yeah,
two
he
more big blinds.
rejammed. You're clicking the wrong buttons here, right?
No, he rejammed for two more big blinds.
Yeah.
Yeah, he missed, he made a mistake. He's already starting to mix fold ace jack off.
So this is the button. The bottom is ace 10 suited.
Don't even give the button a calling range. Just say he ripped it.
so we're still looking at the same range whatsoever. It's gonna be eights plus, like ace jack suited.
This is us now.
Why
Yeah.
are nines printing like more than tens? Like 50% more.
Because when
Block.
you have tens, you block the bottom of the range, whereas nines probably don't block much.
Yeah, that makes
Blocking
sense.
ace ten. And then pocket ten, which is really low in range. But yeah, nice little spot here. That was a pretty big double up. I think that's a key moment in this hand history.
I would have called it too.
Wait, sorry, what was it?
I think like nines plus.
We tripled up in the 215.
No, on this hand. I thought oh, I thought you were saying you would have called here. Okay, never mind.
No, with the jacks, I would have called it off too.
Yeah, Jack.
Jacks, of course.
Unless I'm getting some really crazy reads.
Do you guys double barrel here or should we check?
I think this is strong enough to bet again.
I want to check. I want
Even
to
though
check.
even though the 3 is not good, I think we should bet again here.
I want to bet. I want to barrel because I want to check back the river. Because
Yeah.
when we barrel, let's say he has a flush draw. When the flush draw gets there, he should check a lot.
So how about this? What hands do you think you're supposed to?
And I want to
check
keep.
that aren't just complete air.
I think weaker jacks, like, because he's going to keep bluff catching with weaker jacks, and so we don't have much of an incentive to bet, like queen jack. But ace jack, coolers, lower jacks, that helps.
If we had the from our spot, like jack nine suited.
Yeah, jack nine's a great check. Jack nine's a great check.
I think this hand still bets. It's too strong.
I am like full frequency checking this spot back and bluff catching rivers.
I don't like that line.
On the flop, you bet?
Do you have the?
I think it's okay.
jack
I
flush
think
draw?
checking turn's okay.
I do. I probably do. This is like a bet check bet line for me, or bet check 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 check.
Do the last one, king jack 3. Yeah.
Having a card that's way out of our range. pairing, I think is also a factor.
Yeah, but he should be leading that card quite a bit, but he didn't. So I think we're fine.
So 0% check on this flop. We always
Yeah,
bet.
Right?
that makes
That's a bet
sense. So
range.
bet.
I like sizing up
Get
as
called.
well. Some.
The
Yeah,
three
that-
pairs, what do we do?
That's not a key card for him, so we can here.
Now we, a lot of checking.
Yeah, he's
We're
checking.
gonna, I think we're gonna bet small there.
What's it doing? What's it doing,
Check
y'all?
off his
Lot of checking.
Now it's going polarized. Like it's either checking back most of the time or using big size.
This specific hand is betting small, right?
It's
This is
checking.
Yeah, when it bets, it's
checking.
bet small.
Checking, yeah, checking with the ace jack here.
And does it care about suits?
Likes to bet hearts.
It like, it wants to have the jack of, oh, it doesn't,
No, it wants to have the ace of hearts, but I don't think we can extrapolate too much here. We do
So it
have
goes-
hearts with the back door.
no, it
so-
wants to have, I don't know what it wants to have. But anyway,
What's it do? It check, what does he do in game? I forget. Does he check this spot?
I think he checks, yeah.
We check.
Good.
Okay, so what do we get now?
Get a
10
ten,
spades and it's all right.
a 10 of spade, very bad.
What does our villain do?
So our opponent checks, but he has a great leading opportunity here when the flush completes.
Not
Yeah.
with his hand though.
yeah, his hand wins at showdown a lot.
I think both players played this correct. And I assume when it goes check, we're checking a lot.
Yeah. So another well-played hand by Joe. Plays pretty damn well.
Both players
Joe the
played it
Wizard.
very well.
Hey, let's fold.
Yeah.
This is fine.
Okay, bottom of the range. What do you guys like to do here?
Raise.
We could check raise.
Two
We have
back
a
doors.
spade, we have a dangler.
I'm folding.
What? From the guy who likes to check raise from the big blind?
Yeah, but it's not really a good texture for it. The nine's
What
better
do you
for
mean
him.
it's not a good texture? It's
Nine's way
9-4
better for
deuce.
him. The two is irrelevant.
We
I mean, we
don't.
have it over, but I know it's over backdoor flush, whatever, but it's, I just think we have way better hand, like, we're so wide, I think we have way better combos to fuck around with.
I'm gonna
You
be
got- you got-
Oh
low
my
frequency.
God,
check raise,
really?
Majority folding.
You want to check raise on ace high board sometimes. You don't check raise on this board.
What, are you kidding me? Of course you do.
I don't like this hand to do it with, I just
Of
don't.
course you check raise on this board sometimes. Certainly we have a check raising range.
Yeah,
Yeah,
some
but
of
It
I
those-
has,
I don't
it
wanna
has three legs to the thing, right? And over and two back doors, so.
Yeah,
there's no
Yeah,
That's
check
a-
you're
raise,
just gonna
so-
get a fold a lot here.
It's reasonable to get after it sometimes. I mean, you might pick other hands too, like,
Do it.
you
It's,
know,
it's
five,
reasonable.
5-7.
yes. It's okay to fold shit too, but yes, this is reasonable to check.
Queen of
raise.
spade, we do it. Look, look at
Wow,
that.
look at that.
All
With
the
the queen of
Full
spades.
frequency. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
check raise.
What's the
Check
EV?
raise.
What's the EV?
Oh
On
my
this hand?
god.
I mean, the EV is low, but that's
Oh.
assuming they call down properly. People overfold. So like, get after it.
I
Yeah,
mean, it's good, listen, it's good, it looks good, I mean, I should use it, and I like to do it. so.
yeah.
Yum,
Joe the
yum.
Wizard finds the raise again. Oh no,
Oh,
no.
now we need
I
to
gotta
check.
Oh,
now we
no,
need to
what's
check.
Now I think we gave up.
It was
Yeah,
supposed to
we're done.
stop here. How does
You
this
gotta
guy
give- you gotta
call?
give up.
What is this?
Bad turn card,
You
yeah.
had a great plan, but then he called. And the king came. Not even the king of spades.
Yeah, we know we need to check the
All equity gone.
Oh,
We're
okay,
checking, we're giving up.
so it's a one and done spot.
With that turn,
Alright, that's okay.
Yeah, that is wave the white flag, give it up.
Yeah,
Like-
whereas lots of those low straight cards that give us two pairs and stuff, we're gonna barrel on. Like, I wanna barrel
Yep.
on fives and
anything
sixes
but
and
no
stuff.
anything below a 9, we keep betting.
Yep.
Yeah, this was a good one.
Me and Sam are high-fiving.
Yeah.
I check raised that.
You're also included.
I'm high
He's like,
five.
let me get a high five.
And then I check folded a lot.
I was the only
I
one
think
folding.
I think this is just a call.
I fold
Everyone
every
gets a
flop.
high five, except for
Can
Ken.
you check raising on flops you're not supposed to, and then when you're supposed to do it, you don't do it.
That's
What is
right.
that?
That's exactly Ken's strategy.
It's
Yeah,
a good,
he's tricky.
Keep them on their toes.
Hijack 30 big blinds. So we are the button. 30 big blind effective. And we're facing the hijack here.
I think this is just a call.
We're looking at ace jack off mixing. Mostly call.
never folds.
Raising is fine. Oh no, what are we gonna do?
We're gonna
We're
fold.
gonna fold. I'm gonna put 25 big blinds in there.
What do you guys do with ace queen off?
I call.
Ace queen off. I think you need to start
Yeah.
calling.
I believe it's a fold.
Is it? I don't know.
We're
So I want to point something out
for
too.
30. I don't think it is a fold.
It's not even 30. I think it's like 28 or something like that.
Okay, we can call with this queen.
And ace jack has a sliver of call. So let's fold.
Yeah, let's fold. And then maybe sometimes it's probably because of the price. When we three bet, we have a better price, whereas I believe if we just face the cold 30 big blind jam, we wouldn't just fold.
Yeah. I really like to utilize small three bets now as well.
So I just want to mention something about that hand we looked at a long time ago, the ace jack from hijack versus cutoff when we see bet a lot, like almost range bet, right?
I was early position versus cutoff.
So I just want to point something out, and that's because I'm really haven't focused on these spots and I'm under C betting, but I mean, king high was the reason why a lot of people wanted to bet, right? So it's important to note the texture. If you make it a two-tone flop, our checking goes way up. Offsuit stuff's gonna check about close to 50% all of a sudden, and then your suited stuff that you're gonna lose a third of your bets because you're only betting backdoors, right? So when it's two-tone, you lose a lot of bets, a lot of C bets. And that should be obvious. Obviously, it makes perfect sense, but I wanted to look at it.
Good share.
While we are.
But now we're checking like almost 40% when it's a two-tone flop. And I think we were checking like 23% or something when it was rainbow. And we also use exclusively a small size. I think we had large sizes when it was rainbow. I think we had mixed large. We had a pretty even mix of large bets and small bets on the rainbow because it's harder for them to continue or easier for them to continue, I guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the reports made for this spot, Ken, because I thought it was interesting. Can't wait to see what are the key cards for this spot.
Yeah, I'm gonna start working on those.
Defend, yeah. Give up.
What should we do here?
Fold.
We can probably make an exploitative fold here.
Yeah, I
don't think we're ever gonna rip it to ISO.
What about calling?
I mean, we're getting a price we could call.
Yeah, like we're getting super priced into calls, so it's like it can't be wrong.
You need
But
20 to 1.
that's why I'm saying like we might be able to make an exploitative fold.
You're really not getting the odds to call on, I think. This is one where he turns the 8. Oh, okay, no, it's not. Is he river an 8?
No, that's a bad card.
Fold the
Shit
I think we fold now.
I think
We
they
fold now.
quite fine. What do you guys think?
Fold, fourth pair.
I think if we're going to go to the flop, once it goes check, like we probably have to call
We
all
just
small
call,
sizes.
we call one small bet. So that feels.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's fine. I think the turn call is fine.
Okay, me too.
Yeah.
Because the flop went check, right?
Yeah, the flop went check, check.
Yeah, so our whole range is calling a small bet, I believe.
Yeah. Not gonna fold a pair. Money making spot again.
Yeah.
Hey,
You got a call.
You got a call here.
I think the solver would call. I was just wondering what Joe would do.
I mean, it's a
Gotta
paired
call
flop. He's
it.
supposed to defend by check raising, and we're wrapping around the 10 and the 9. Pretty
Yeah.
decent.
I
So,
think we have enough.
we have 2 overs and a gutter. I'm not folding yet.
No spade though, so check raise is out.
You mean a
Yeah,
You mean 3-bet.
I would call here if we had clubs, diamonds, hearts. I think calling this one is not good.
I'm calling it.
Wait, what was the action? We bet one big blind?
We bet and then
check
we
raise.
got check raise. I
I
don't
mean,
think
he's
that's
bluffing.
a
He's
fold.
bluffing undercards here. He's bluffing like 7-8, right? Jack 8, Queen 8, stuff like that. So I mean, I'm not folding yet.
Yeah, but think about your range. You can call with the backdoor flush.
We bet one big blind. We're gonna get played back against a lot, so not folding here. Plus, we could get a queen.
Yeah, I don't think that's fold.
Like we're ahead of all his bluffs at this point, I think. So I can't fold yet. I don't care what suit I have.
Yeah. I agree.
I mean, sure, you'd rather have hearts, clubs, diamonds, but
Also, did he misclick
Can't be
here?
fold.
Like, this is the first time he used such a weird sizing, right?
No,
It's not weird sizing. He did the one big blind bet from
yeah, last
from
time.
the last.
we-
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I think he's doing it against the shorter stack in the blinds a lot. Like if it's under 20 big blinds, he's doing this quite a bit.
Yeah, I like it.
I do too, but not at 20.
Under 20.
Yeah, I don't think I would bet one big blind here against a 20 big blind stack.
I
Probably
start doing
go
it
like 30.
Against like people that are under like 14 bigs.
We're supposed to raise here.
No, this is a bet. This is C bet.
It is a flop. We're supposed to
Yeah.
bet.
We're supposed to check raise.
No,
What?
we're not-
We're supposed to 3-bet.
We can't check raise
I know.
It would.
That's him,
Three
I'm
bet.
sorry.
for him. Yeah,
Yeah, not,
never folding king jack.
No,
He's just going all in. What the hell? Like
And that's
40
if they're bluffing appropriately, right? Like they have a lot, they're check raising probably, what are they check raising? 40%, 35?
maybe I get this backwards. I wouldn't do that without a spade on the board.
Can you
You want
slide
the
this over?
4% equity, right?
yeah, well, I looked at it yesterday and on Gallon Sim, it was only continuing with the backdoor flush. Oh, I know.
That's what I would do if
Can
you're
you
gonna check
Bring this
jam,
whole thing into
especially.
view. Can only
Oh,
see
sorry.
part of it. So how often are they check raising?
A lot.
Yeah, like
Yeah, again, if it has 3 legs to it, you have 2 overs and a back door, then it does. This
And a
just,
straight draw.
this has, yeah, it has the backdoor straight draw. If you have the backdoor flush, you got 4 legs, that is a monster continuation.
Yeah,
You got all 4.
But the thing is,
Get all
we're ahead
4
of all his
well.
bluffs. If you look at his bluffs, king high is ahead of like probably every bluff he has.
I'm just finding in Pio, whenever you got 3 legs to it, it always keeps going. Not always check raising, or raising, but it always keeps going.
What do you mean
Almost
3
always.
legs?
There's 4 possible legs to a hand, right? You can have 2 overs, a backdoor flush, and a backdoor straight. If you have 3 of those 4, Pio keeps going.
Okay,
They're never folding.
nice.
Yeah, but we have a gutter here.
Yeah,
Two
so that's a
overs.
backdoor
We're
straight
always-
and 2 overs. It's 3 legs, so it's gonna continue.
Uh-oh.
This isn't a bad card at all, actually.
No, it's not a bad card. This
Yeah,
is
because
a good card.
he's not bluffing aces. Like he doesn't have any ace X in his bluffing range.
Nope.
He's gonna raise ace nine.
8-7, 8-6, jack
Uh,
8.
Yeah, he might raise ace eight with a backdoor flush and maybe ace jack. I don't know, or ace jack maybe. I don't know what he's raising on the flop exactly, but it's not going to be many aces.
There's a
Abort.
lot of draws here.
Abort.
He's
Abandon ship.
Yeah, we need to give up here.
Did
I
he
need a
bet?
live raft.
And
Trying to hop on the boat.
yesterday, Galen wanted to raise her. Or like he,
Yep.
He has no pocket pairs. He has no over pairs better than ours. I don't understand why we fold yet.
I'm folding.
Did he bet? What'd he bet? How much?
No, we didn't fold. We're on the turn, and then what did the big blind do?
I think you
Yeah.
just, he checks, I think you check, you're supposed to check back here. I was on the aggressive train before.
Yeah, we-
Oh,
checked
you were
that.
saying he folds the flop. Okay.
Yeah,
I
we checked
disagree.
back.
No, I'm
I
saying,
disagree with it.
I would have ended up here on the turn. I'm saying when the 10 comes out, it's not a great card for us, and it's a check.
It's not a bad card
I think it's
either.
a better card for us than them.
See, I thought that too, but half of his range he's protecting with check raises is 10x.
Yeah, and that's a lot less.
But he's less likely to have a 10 now.
And he's gonna have
Very-
nines. He's check raising
very
all his
unlikely.
nines. He's check raising all his
That was
nines as
my
well.
flawed logic as well.
He's check raising all his 9x as well, right? So, you know, it's not great for us, but we have all the over pairs.
What
They-
I
happened?
mean, you should just check back here and realize the equity, right? You could still be good with the king too.
Well,
So
Yeah,
what
there's
did
no
he
point.
do?
There's no point in betting the turn. The hand doesn't really need protection. We're not
No.
getting any better to fold. Like this is just very straightforward check back.
And he shouldn't
Agreed.
have many aces in his check raise range on the flop, so.
Whoa.
That's gross.
Sucker.
And he didn't bet,
Just-
he didn't bet turn or river?
nope.
No, he was trying to get greedy.
That's okay to do that with the stone nuts is to check out of position.
Yeah, you check turn, but you gotta bet river.
No, you don't. Not against a good player. You
You don't
don't.
check twice. You can't check twice.
Yes, you do.
check-
Absolutely you do. If
Chris
Chidwick's
is
playing
right here.
Ivy, that is what they do. The
No,
stone cold
everything's
nuts
betting.
checks. Yep.
Only one out of all of them. One.
Yeah.
I agree with
Betting.
checking the mega nuts.
I'm fine
I think
checking
that's-
turn. I think that's standard, but I think if, when it checks back, you gotta put chips in. You can't let the other person, you can't count on them to check twice, to bet.
On the flop, how often does our hand three bet defend as opposed to call defend against the check raise?
Quite a bit, wasn't it?
Our specific hand.
Ken, I would want to bet that more with a 5 rolling off when there's less 5s in his range. If it's a card that's more in his range both ways, suited and offsuit,
So
then I
our
want to
hand,
check and let
our
them
hand
know.
is the king jack of clubs, and it bets and it raises big most of the time, more than any of the suited ones. And none of them ever fold.
I don't think it matters. You're looking at an action that doesn't really win you much money.
What do you mean? You mean the difference in suits, or just or the difference between raising?
Well, check like re-raising against on the flop. It doesn't really. I don't think in real game it makes you much money.
Okay.
wow, I was on mute, I was yelling. It's a quarter of the pot.
I'm trying to close your windows. Thought I was in Pio. I'm like, get my Pio off of here. What the fuck?
Alright, we're gonna take our first break.
I'm gonna take.
Breakfast.